Welcome back to the show. This is Talking Through Your Kick with Neil Evans, Brent Zarafa and Nick Quinn. Plenty to talk about going forward now that the spring has sort of slowly come to a close. And I mean that with all due respect to the Sandown. We've got to try and pick something to tuck away for the autumn. And we're going to start with you, Neil. What have you picked to find the punters
for the autumn?
I
do think it's probably people have seen it, but Edgewood was a massive run after bomb in the start. Watch out for it in the autumn. And Rawnack, I thought, I'd like to have that zipping classic again for Rawnack. But I think well placed. It's got a big future too.
Yeah, the problem I have, and it's not about poo-pooing yours one, is unfortunately we see a Derby horse. It was 100 to 1 for a reason going into the Derby, and it's you could argue it might have won that, should have won that, but I reckon we're going to come back and look at that Derby in years to come, and it might not be the stellar Derby that we think of.
Time will tell.
Maybe. Brawny Spirit was 250 to 1 on debut, and it won.
There you go. I'm looking at a horse called Sacred Falls, coming across from New Zealand. Australian punters haven't seen it here, but they certainly will in the autumn. I think it's certainly a horse to follow. And
is that who trains that? Roger Jones?
Tony Pike.
Tony Pike.
Yeah, Tony Pike. And Shamal Wind. Probably one of the most impressive wins of the Flemington Carnival for mine on Oaks Day. Robert Smurden trained 3-year-old filly, and I'm not sure where she'd be placed in the autumn, but whatever she goes around in, she's going to be very hard to beat.
Is that Kiwi horse going to go on that Bayer Classic, that Levin Classic?
I'm not exactly sure what the plans are for it, but I know just in the autumn you want to be following it. It'll be racing in some decent races. Randwick Guineas, I'm guessing Rosehill Guineas might be its probably option.
Quinny?
My first one here we've already touched on, won the Sandown Cup very impressively, and I think next time, after a couple of months with Peter Moody, will really take it to the next level and be worth sticking with right throughout. And Prairie Star, another international galloper who has now had one campaign with Danny O'Brien. He was very patient with the horse, and I think next time in, once it's familiar with its surroundings, it'll be very hard to beat in some of the quality stain races.
You're just going to give a free ITI plug at the end of that as well, are you, mate?
Only one of them was OTI, isn't it?
I think Prairie Stars, isn't it OTI as well?
Well, I don't think it is, is it?
No.
Well, I thought it was. Are you sure?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, we'll have a look.
Which
anyway,
is pretty
it could be my mistake. I'm going to go with a Snowden horse, Gentile.
Oh, that's through your kick.
One on Cup Day.
Where's the other one?
And Luna Rise.
You sure they're not your two winners from the last 3 months?
Luna Rise ran second.
Very close.
Luna Rise, I think, is going to be a star. I don't know why, I just got the feeling, but saw that the horse didn't kick on in the gloaming, said, I'm going to bring you back.
Derby?
Wait and grab the carbine. I don't think it's a Derby horse. No, I think it's a Doncaster. I think it's a Doncaster horse, and it probably qualifies already from...
I'm going to have something on the Derby.
I don't think it'd qualify. A 3-year-old, it'd still need to... It'd be a long way down the list at this stage. It didn't need to win a better race on the way through.
Just got the tip that OTI does have Prairie Star as well, so...
Never in doubt.
There you go. I'll throw in Mount Athos. I think it'll win the Japan Cup. How's that?
And the horse that ran second on the Carnival Day and also on Sunday, the 3-year-old horse. It's another OTI horse. Thunder Rain. There's another one that's going to follow as well. Okay, we had a look at the Saturday races, and the punters copped an absolute pasting, we know, over the Carnival, but fought back in no uncertain terms over Saturday in all 3 venues. Have a look at these stats. We'll show you what happened on Saturday. Every single winner at Sandown firmed from its top fluctuation. Now, they're just the first 4 races. Balbula, 14s into 13s. Now, the question we're going to ask here is...
14 into 13.
Well, it's still a firmer.
Yep,
and there might be 3 or 4 firmers a race, but as you can see, they're all not well back, but they all trimmed up.
We bet 420, Marasara.
Do you follow the market leads, Nick?
Personally, you've got to take it into account. So if you're keen on a horse, you've got to back your own judgment, but also if there's a horse that's been backed or been specced, you've always got to have a little sneaky saver and respect the smart punters. So full credit to the punters on Saturday and to the bookies, because they are obviously being competitive if people are taking the fixed odds.
Yeah, I know you can't say, well, can I have 4 runners in a race that all firm, because sometimes 4 or 5 do.
Well, you can have a few.
But I think that's probably what we're saying here, and more so in Sydney during the midweeks. You find that...
It's certainly, I find in the weaker races where there might only be 6 or 7 horses, they might back 2, maybe there's even 8 or 9 horses. They back 2, maybe even 3 firm, and they might run 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Like they're very much around the mark, especially in those sort of markets where there is not as strong as, say, the Saturday,
Yep.
I think those Wednesday markets, the big firmers, are the ones you want to be on.
And it takes a fair bit of coin to get these horses in. If they're all easing,
It
it's
depends.
not a $500 bet to get them back in a half a point.
Depends where you're at. Sydney and Melbourne, the rings are still quite strong, but you get out into some of the country areas, there might only be one or two bookmakers
Oh, I
out there.
understand
and
that.
that's-
I'm talking Saturday, Wednesday, and that was, you
Yeah.
know, these
Yeah,
are
they're
when
off.
there were 109, 112%.
No, exactly. Now, certainly market leads are a great way to bet.
And do you find that as well with you blokes?
Yeah, one of the great arguments I have with punting mates and all that sort of thing is, you know, when the market, when you see a big firmer early, and the thing is, there's some good punters on board here. You know, where's the line in the sand? Where's the price that you still want to be in, and you want to get off, thinking that okay, it's under the odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and that's a great fascination about fixed odds betting. But you try and be aggressive early, because you get a good lead on a market then. But, you know, you look at a lot of those horses, from where they went at the flag, some very good prices bet early.
Exactly. And
very
if you,
good.
if you happen to follow it, well, you're
Doesn't
gonna,
always work that way.
You're going to have a profit on the day,
No,
that's for sure.
100%, yep.
But, as you wrote earlier, there's something like 6 firmers on Derby
I think it
Day,
was,
Cup Day.
over the Flemington Carnival, there was only 4 horses that won that started shorter than their opening price on course, which is again a reflection of how strong the ring is, because a lot of them are opening $5 and getting out to $5.50.
Yeah.
And sort of, they might have been well back, but they just weren't firming. off
Also
that
a
price.
reflection of the track played very ordinary.
Also,
Sandown played magnificently.
How
They come
bad
up
the
the
punters
fence.
are.
No, it's no,
plenty
the
of
track-
posts on our,
How can you understate how the track plays?
track was
And, like,
magnificent.
The track on Saturday at Sandown was one of the best betting tracks I've seen.
for a week. The track.
Look, they
the
won in
track at
front, they won
Flemington
from the back,
was
they won on the
magnificent.
inside, they won down the middle. The track on Cup Day
on.
was
Move
not.
on. Just
yeah,
move
but the
on.
punters want to hear this.
Pick up your
punters
bat
heard
and
it.
ball and move
The
on.
punters heard it
It's a
last week. They
balanced
disagreed
argument.
with
It's
you.
a balanced argument. You say, look, only 4 favourites got up on the day, and the punters say, well, why is it so? There must be a lot of factors.
There were big fields and strong fields. The
Yeah,
Spring
that's
Carnival.
That's a factor. That's a factor.
Yeah, I'm not a big track man.
We backed a lot of losers. That was the main factor.
Well, there was...
Talking through your kick. Neil Evans allowed to do it. He owns the show.
Look after the punters. I don't own the show.
Well, you
Look
should.
after the punters.
Looking after you. Well, I am one of the punters. I'm just a desperate with no money left. We'll take a break here on Talking Through Your Kick.